Hi guys, it's Weedit and I am at my leather desk. I have a rather precarious setup to film this with and I hope I have enough light. Before I get into today's project, I want to go over a couple things. One is, before you begin to do any type of leather carving for the day, I always start off by sharpening my blade. Now this is a leather carving blade. It's just a little inexpensive one. It's designed to be used like this. But this is just a piece of cardboard. It's got rouge on it. And to sharpen, I want to make sure I have the right angle. Just hold it at a steady, constant angle. And the tip of the blade pretty much, let's see if you can see that. Right there, the blade is beveled. So as long as you get that bevel flat, then you're in good shape. So I put my finger down so I can gauge, get it comfortable, and then drop it just a few times. And I probably need more rouge. Okay, and if you don't do that, then sometimes you'll notice that it doesn't slip through very well. When it starts pulling, then you know you need to go back and sharpen it again. So very easy to do, doesn't take much, just I keep this handy. In fact, it stays right over in my books, and that's all there is to it. I'm going to do a leather ATC. And this is what we call the hippy dippy style. It's really easy. Anybody can do it. And here is actually a magnet that I made for my father. Dad, do you know when I made this for Dad?
Several years ago. 4 or 5 years ago.
It was 4 or 5 years before he passed away. And he passed away 2.5 years ago.
6 years ago.
Okay, so probably about 6 years ago. And what I wanted to point out, aside from the design, this is a little heart. And again, we call this the hippy dippy design simply because it's very floral. And I think it's very pretty. It's also very simple. Anybody can do this because it's just making a few cuts with a knife and then taking advantage of the stamps to make it look like a floral line. But this is dark blue. This was a silver Krylon marker, and it's faded. It's been in direct sun for all 6 years. No, it's been in direct sunlight for all 6 years. Leather dye is not light fast, so when you go to dye something, just be aware if you're using leather dyes, they're not going to hold up to direct sun. Because this is very dull now compared to what it was when I first made it. Okay, so I'm going to keep that there. And I have the stamps sorted out that I'll be using right here. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 basic stamps that I'll be using. Truthfully, you could do this with just about anything because you can make a flower out of practically any stamps. And you need a cup of water with a sponge in it or a sprayer. And you want to case your leather. That means you want to get it wet. And you can tell how wet you're getting it if you turn it on the side and look. This is not a very good piece of leather. It was cut from a part that's near the belly, so it's kind of stretchy. But I didn't want to use any really good leather for this, because I'm just going to do a little ATC, and it doesn't have to be really fine. You can get leather artist trading cards from Tandy. They're pre-cut. They'll be, okay. Or you can just get a piece of leather and cut your own. It doesn't really matter. Okay. Now, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, okay, there are a few things that I want to do. One, I think I want a border. So I'm really going to eyeball this. And I've got my leather wet, so when I run this stylus on it, it's going to leave that indent. Okay, and I'm going to try to zoom in a little bit. The light is not the greatest. I might have to move these out so I can stay in frame. There we go. Turn it. Again, I'm just eyeballing. This needs to be the first thing that I do so I can make sure my design works with it well. And I'm pressing fairly hard. I might have to extend that one just a little bit. There. If you hear rattling or noise, my husband is walking around doing something. I don't know. My leather table is in his dye room. There we go. Okay, so now I've got a nice little frame. And I don't know if I want to do a heart or if I just want to do, I think I'll just do a few lines. Okay. Coming, and again, this is how I'm holding the knife. And the idea is that your fingers can make it swivel. The other thing you can do is you can turn your leather as you're going. So, I think, and I just made just a swirly cut. And I'll do another one. Okay, and if you'll watch, I'm really basically just twisting a knife. Okay, and I think I'll come off of this one. Let's come off this one a little bit. Let's have another one off here. And we've got to leave room. Okay, so I've got my vines right there, and then that's it for the knife. That's all we're doing. So I just used a stylus for the borders, okay, and this is not real pointed, but it is pointed enough. I don't really want to keep poking my finger too hard. It's not sharp. The knife is sharp. I keep it in a little leather case for protection, and I'm done with that. All right. And now I'm going to put my bigger elements in. So I've got my stamp. Now the way I hold it is I'm going to put my little finger down and I move my other like that. So that braces it and kind of holds it, and I know where it is. So I hold down and I have a hammer. I give it a good thwack, holding it steady. And there we go. Okay. So I'll put a few of these here, there, and yonder. And let's see, maybe here? No, maybe here. Okay. And I think I do want one right here. One good thwack, and that's all you really need. You should be able to do all of this with one thwack. If it's taking more than that, you run the risk of double stamping, creating a double image because you've walked or moved the stamp just a little bit in the wrong direction. Okay. Now I have another type of leaf. We are not going to be necessarily precise with our stamping as far as making sure that we are doing a particular type of plant. Now this is a second type of leaf right there. And I'm going to put a little flower on that too. I think this one might be good right there. No rhyme or reason. It's just wherever you feel like putting this. And then this is one I love. It's a little one. And it stamps easily and it stamps deeply. And we're going to fill up a lot with this. Okay. And this is the stamp that I'm using. It's really not meant to be a leaf, but that's what I meant by you can take pretty much whatever you've got and make it a leaf or a flower. Let's see, I'll put this one down here. We've got different kind of leaves on this one vine. Wow. And I think we need one right here. We might need one right here too. Oops. The song playing in the background, hopefully YouTube can't hear it, is basically the same thing over and over. I think it's going to rain. I wish it would rain. I think it's going to rain. I think it's going to rain. Theoretically, I can't complain about the music since I'm invading somebody's space. But this really is my table in his workspace. So, okay, now I've got a real tiny little flower. Let me see if I can get this to focus. No? Yes, no? No. No, it's really not going to. Anyway, it's actually a pebble backgrounding tool, but it does make a pretty good little flower. And I think I'll put it right here. Okay. And it's right there. And see, it's a pebble backgrounding tool. Makes a great flower. So we'll put several of these around. That one went over the line a little bit, that's fine. Again, this is a very forgiving design. I don't have to worry about being really precise. I don't want it to go on the line, I'd rather not, but if it does, we can live with it. There we go. Putting a little flower everywhere. Now once I get done, I'll come back and I'll fill in with more too. But right now I'm just building. I'm going to leave this one alone for a little while. And this is a tinier one. Same basic design. Just a tad bit smaller. So for that reason, I'm switching again. And this is a little bigger one. and I'm off camera. There we go. There. I walked that one. I hit it wrong, not well. And there you can see that second impression right there. That's what you don't want to do. But again, if you do, it's really not, it's not going to show. And if I'm worried about it, I can put another flower or a leaf or something. That's why this design is so much fun. You just about can't go terribly wrong with it. And there. So I've got this nice big flower that I'm putting on the ends. And I think on this end, I don't want the flower. I want to put another leaf. Try and make sure it's not overlapping. And I can tell that my leather's getting dry. I just had the tool that I want. There we go. I want more flowers. I think I'm going to use that leaf that's really not a leaf and put some more in. That single leaf there. Alright, and now I need to put something right here in the corner, and I'm looking to see if I want to, I think I'll just stamp this flower nice and deep right there in the corner, and that's it. Now that's a leather ATC. It does need to be finished, but I've got to wait for it to dry. So I'm going to leave this one and I will be back.